All right, welcome back to Counter-Strike Confederation. We're here on Inferno, presenting to you the pre-warm-up, the warm-up of the next game on preseason match day 3. I am MaldingMike. My co-caster tonight is Bango. Your observer is going to be Fjiyrehaughck 42, also known as Amaryllis, and we are happy to bring you some high tier, and I mean high tier. We are in prospect games tonight. We have the Aimlock Anchors versus the Orchids. Round starting soon. Bango, how are we doing tonight?
I'm feeling good, ready to watch some Counter-Strike, see how Prospect shapes up. I haven't watched a Prospect game in a little bit, so definitely going to be interesting.
I'll tell you one thing. I love Prospect games. And now it looks to me like we're heading up alt mid here. We have a split setup. We have one lurk towards B, taking a little bit of space. But look at that peek out through mid. A smoke with a gap on it. Not surprising, but look at that HE taking huge damage. RPT, no armor. Pays the price now. A 3v4 situation. Melky towards alt mid. The split is successful. The alt mid to B is the play. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you. Steez now holding the angle. Fighting from library. Playing the gap. The jump across is good. Jazzer's holding the wrong angle as he's given up the site. But they won't know that. They need to clear. Alexandrov is trying his best to clear this side out, and they're going to have it. Bomb's going down. Jazzer's not making a move. Steez has now regrouped, and Melky is in a bad spot to hold the site. Soon that timing needs to come through. Jazzer's clearing ever so carefully. One player behind new box, one player in dark. It's a perfect setup. Peek out comes. Close angle. Alexander takes down one, and now Bluish clears the other. A solid round from this T side. A great call. I personally am a big fan, Bango, of that alt mid to B.
Yeah, super clear idea coming out from them. Throwing, I think most people call it G2 smoke in top mid there. Taking that arch control, making those angles super tight for the USPs, and getting in close with the Glocks to take them down. Really nice idea.
Couldn't agree more here. Seem to be fancying alt mid here. Another A-sided play, a little bit of space created, an instant smoke on the right side of mid, and this is 3 players on A. A default setup for Inferno. A weird one for Pistol. A lot of times you'll see a gamble stack, but that's not going to happen here, and they are playing slow. Very reserved play, trying to play against a possible anti-eco, but there's not an inkling of information to give away the fact that it is indeed an eco. As a peek out from mid, Bluish had to have seen that. I would hope that they did. Bluish is now going to head into Mexico, and I mean this is a slow round, but look at the space found towards B. Banana Control's been seated. Playing the angle real close there. Anybody peeking out could be found. Jazzer's starting to engage. Steez went down. Now Lerp is in a great position for an eco, as they are going to be executing on the B here, and the rotation's coming through. RPT's clearing methodically. The USP can't hit its mark. Uber Ponage gets taken down, and this is another round in the making. The question is, Bango, how much are you willing to give them on this eco?
I mean, looks like they're going to be able to take it flawlessly, which is obviously what you want as anybody on an anti-eco round. Pretty good job just making sure they didn't run into a stack and clearing out the re-aggression into top mid. So nice to see that they're aware of the pistols wanting to push and get up in their face and keep things nice and clean.
A little bit of damage on Alexander there, but as this round's closing out, they're not going to be going for a ninja. This is going to be a full end to the round here. Flawless from the Orchids, a 2-0 scoreline. Bango, talk to me about this strategy we're seeing from the T side and maybe what the CTs are doing wrong here.
Yeah, I mean, you know you're facing pistols. You know they're going to try and stack something. They're going to try and be aggressive, try and get in your face. You just sit, you make sure that you're not going to die to that, and use that information that you gain trying to sniff out their stack to formulate your idea coming into the round. They realize that they probably can go B and get a nice advantage, and that's what happens.
Well said, and it looks like we're heading into another round here. Gonna be interesting. walking straight through the smoke with an SMG, and it's going to work out. A team kill from Alexander. That's not what you want to see. Flash comes out. Lerp dodges successfully and is now spraying through the smoke. Knows that they made it through. Calling out to the teammate. The audible's likely there, but out from Library, here comes Sunny, looking for something, looking for anything. 3 players. The timing is there, but the shots do not come through, and the position has been completely invalidated by Sunny's timing. Now eating that molly, clearing Library for some reason. Yeah, there's a gap arch, but you saw 3 go through. RPT clears Uber Ponage, and now Jazz are shut down by RPT's MAC-10. This is not looking good for the Aimlock anchors. I've seen Hacker Haven. I've seen what they're capable of, but this is definitely not their best so far, Bango.
No, they really let themselves get isolated there, and it looks like Sunny's just gonna save. Not favoring himself in the 1v3 retake onto A. I'm sure you've heard it before, but A, one of the harder sites to retake on in CS2. There's just so many spots that T's can sit.
The hardest.
Yeah, for sure. Now the dust is back into the pool, I think some might argue for B site, but definitely not a site that you're going to have an easy time retaking. So it's on the CTs to try and keep that site under wraps, not let them get the bomb down, because once they do, it's going to be very difficult to get the round back under control.
And there is a lot, I mean, there's a lot you can do. There's boost, there's util, but I highly doubt we're going to be seeing that level of play tonight, and that's okay. As we are seeing what looks to be either a mid or a B producing out of this T side. They're heading up Banana pretty fast. Their bomb's going to be all mid. Look at this push down mid, though. This is what I'm talking about. You got to come back with something. This is a good call. Freedom's going to walk out into the P250, but it's not going to matter. Sunny cleans up, though, and now only 1 player on the board. What happened to all of these players? Sunny just saved, and now it seems as if it was worthless. Sunny holding Banana. Can you hear this player? It's not going to matter. Milky has an absolute solid shot on Sunny. So much information seeded over to these CT. So much space so early, but it did not get taken advantage of. And it makes you wonder how this CT side, on a CT-sided map, is going to survive throughout this game, Bango.
Yeah, the T's did a great job reacting to that early information that the CTs took. I mean, they knew that people were committing down mid, so they just went towards B instead and worked out well.
Well, and we're still going with this 3-2 setup. Not bad. We're not seeing any instant mid smokes, a missed op shot, but a nade going out might find something. Look at this action on T-Brick. Steez gets taken down by 2. That is a fight you should not take, especially with all that information you gather. But look at Lerp on a lurk nonetheless, and look at the Freedom. He's found 2. Solid work, as he is taking so much space. Lerp now looking towards mid, finds 1, can't get the kill. Freedom moving to engage, but gets shut down. Should have taken the space, and this A has been completely red, but look at this over-rotation. This is such a great call. I'm not sure who the IGL is, but they are doing absolute demonic work. And that is a great molly, a great clear. This is a very refined team we're looking at here, Bango.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with the calling so far on the T side. I mean, they've maybe been given a few kills that they shouldn't be given, but as soon as they get those kills, they make great reactions to try and utilize the information they got during the round to their own advantage. And they get those 2 kills at A, and they probably hear them rotating off from top Banana, and use that to know if we go towards B, we have a 4v1, and they can get the bomb down and play that retake. And in this case, it looks like they're not even having to play a retake because the CTs are looking to save.
I mean, that's something right there. We got to talk about that. If you can't win the fight waiting for it, and, you know, with the MP9 at that range, that's got to be yours. I mean, arguably, it comes down to whoever is the better aimer, but we're at 5-0. This is when you need a tactical timeout, and there it is.
Yeah, you've got to wonder what they're going to be talking about. Definitely need some sort of change in the CT side. They've tried a couple aggressive plays, they've tried a couple more passive plays, and they're just not really finding much of a foothold against the T-side calling.
T-side calling has definitely been solid. I would love to find out who the IGL is. Commendation is in order without a doubt. But look how many. Look at the ADR mix with the KD of Freedom Grin, an absolute entry demon. 4 kills, 4 deaths. Everyone else is sitting at 1 or 0. And it goes to show that a lot of space is being taken by a certain individual, a lot of sacrifice by a player that has found nothing but success throughout these apps pushes. And I have yet to see a time where it has just been stopped valiantly by this CT squad of Hacker Haven, of the Aimlock Aimers, and another push. A deep mid smoke, but a huge gap through T-Ramp. Lerp is going to see one, but he's not going to swing. There goes the kill. Very clean. At the end of the day, it's now Alexander's holding next to this op. There's a player so close. Sonny takes him down. He's found huge space, but hopping into that smoke is an absolute death sentence. And they are taking B yet again fast. With such an off position. Here in church, Uber opponents letting him take the site. Such a lack of confidence, and even less of an execute on that kill. As now Lerp is trying to bring this back from the brink. A 3v3 situation. This push down Banana. A smoke for control. An op against this AK is not a fight you would choose if you had the chance at walking out with a pistol nonetheless. Poor planning, poor execution. Lerp gets taken down, and now Uber Ponage, the only holder of the B site, left with nothing.
Yeah, that start of that round definitely looked like they made a bit of a mistake. They threw the bottom mid smoke, but left a huge gap for that op, and he gets a super easy opening as they try and run down mid. And he ends up getting punished for it towards the end of the round, but doesn't quite mean enough for the round to actually fall back into the CT's favor. As he's trying to run up Banana with the op and gets taken down.
And I'm not sure exactly how they're throwing it. I know every instant myself, but I don't think they're throwing instants. I think they're throwing it either... I think they're running up to a lineup, which is why it's so late, and then also that lineup, whatever they're throwing it from, seems to be a bit shoddy. I'm not sure if they're used to it or maybe they're missing, but that's a huge gap that we're seeing on that smoke. It allows the opera to push up and arguably have a better angle. So I'm really not sure what's going on there, but maybe they'll get it figured out. They've had a tactical timeout. They need to regroup. You're at 6-0. This is when you really need to start getting the momentum back on track.
Yeah, definitely interesting. Maybe it's a few different people trying to throw the smoke themselves after they see it missed, but they've missed it a couple times and they've missed it in different ways every time. So very, very interesting to see from the CTs, and we'll see if they keep going back to it, knowing that it's inconsistent at this point. I would probably try and do something else with your opening play.
The aggression has been read multiple times now. It's left your B site very open. I think they definitely need to slow down, and we're going to see what happens here. Pretty heavy set towards mid, taking banana control, very default. Look at this. They're fighting for the banana. A lot of nades going out. That's going to damage. Take down Grit. Steez fighting for mid here. Again, an aggression play. Another horrible smoke and a re-smoke. Walking out of the op, taking a shot from behind, and now Melky's falling back, but here's a push out of Uber. Ponage takes down one. Lerp clears out Bluewitch RPT with a trade, and now we have a fight on our hands. A 2v3 situation. The util usage has been phenomenal. Banana has been seated. RPT left with 24 health and everything to gain here. The weight of this clutch on his shoulders. In mid. Sitting in a smoke. Such a dangerous position. You could have two players right in front of you. Every movement means so much here to walk right into Steez, and it will not matter. Aimlock anchors, finally, a show of momentum on Inferno.
Yeah, interesting again. They missed the smoke, and they miss it in an entirely new way, but it ends up not coming out to bite them because Steez manages to get that kill and ult, and the Opper isn't willing to commit all the way out into mid to try and get the trade, so he...
I gotta see who's throwing the smoke. Okay, it's whoever was behind Steez there. I think it's 4. So it's going to be Sonny that's throwing the smoke, and it looks like this one actually hit. This is a perfect deep mid smoke right here. This is the one you want. He has the instant specifically for this. New to the instance for sure, but must have gotten the easier spawn. It's now a banana control nade has been thrown, but no mollies to back it up. Nothing to clear this cubby. No push, no flash. Seems like a wasted smoke to me, Bango, as now Jazzer's creeping through barrels. It's clearly been watched. You know your banana is compromised. Can you win the fight? As they are inching closer and closer together. Bluish swings out. Will he get traded by Uber Ponage? Yes. Or sorry, Jazzer. Now a 2v4 situation. This is typically called to be a save, but when you have a split site like this, you can only hope to hold the space. Retreating all the way into CT is such an interesting call, but it's actually worked out perfectly. This is something right here. A 2v4 situation. A little late. Lerp would have to go insane. You'd have to hope for the best. Lerp gets one, swings the next corner, gets taken down instantly, and now 1v3. Oh, and look at that, Jazz. There's just a solid aim there. Finds one. The player in lane's a little bit disjointed. It's a 1v1 for this. This is not great positioning from Freedom. We've seen solid entry. And now we know that a flank is in the making. He seems to be running fast to apps. This is not good. Orchids just sitting in it. Stuck on the left side, but no nades to work with. A flash. Oh, and that is something right there. Let's... My monitor turned off, Mango. What happened?
I think it's best if you just don't know what happened. It was a little embarrassing. So, almost self-flashed himself and then couldn't close out the round.
Hey, and that's the type of high-octane shit I'm talking about, Bango. That's what I live for right there. Let me tell you. Because it's rounds like that where that mistake could have caused a victory. I mean, you never really know, and that's what I love about Prospect. The game sense is in a spot where it's developed to the point where anything can happen, but also it kind of makes sense. There's now Sneeze, more mid aggression. They have gone every single round out of mid and has not been countered yet. Not a pre-fire, not a nade, not a flash, nothing. Look at that. RPT gets taken down by Lerp. Melky trying to find a kill through the smoke, but it's a close angle and they're still pushing Banana. This is crazy from Sunna. Bluish has no idea that from behind. Go for the knife. Nope, no need. This is straight business here. Melky in a 1v4 situation, completely surrounded, encapsulated. And this is a knife in the making. This would be absolutely... Oh, that one hurts. And you may be down 2-7, but that is a victory right there, Bango.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't quite understand what the CTs are thinking with copy-pasting this opening duel every single round, but somehow they've managed to maybe sharpen the knife over all of their failed rounds to actually get the opening kills going their way now. So
you know, it's interesting. They did it with no util and it worked, and every other time they did it with util and it didn't work. Funny
it really
enough.
Makes you wonder.
It does. It truthfully does. And Ob and Apps going for the pick. Great play by Lerp. He's read it. I mean, when you do the same thing, and now we're starting to see a little bit of an evolution. Working towards B. Space has been cleared. They've given up Banana, but now they're fighting for control without the retake utility. But, you know, retake utility isn't in these players' vocabulary yet, and that is okay with me. Bluish now lining up a Molly. I'm not sure where it's going to go. Melky's holding mid, making sure no pushes come out like every other round. Look at that. From first, finds one, finds two, finds three. An absolutely clean B hold from first and second, nonetheless. Easily mollyable positions. Just a little bit of utility that they had on hand. Could have made the difference in that round, but sadly, Bango, it did not happen.
No, that one didn't quite work out for them. It's going to be interesting to see what happens the last two rounds if the CTs keep running it down. Hopefully the Ts on this limited buy can manage to scrounge something together, but it looks like they're actually starting to crumble a little bit under the pressure.
Seem to be saving for this last round. And look at this B rush, though, straight through. They've taken advantage of the lack of offensive util, and they are now in an interesting position. But that aim from Freedom and Alexander has been completely taken advantage of. But a 3v3 with sight control is a bad sign, even without guns or with them. This is now a perilous situation for these CTs. That banana smoke they threw actually helps for the retake here. And it's 2 from CT, 1 from Banana. Not the gun you want, but one shot would make the difference, and Sunny finds the kill on Melky. Now Bluish in a 1v2 situation. This is what it comes down to, ladies and gentlemen. Steez has to go crazy here. A flash comes over. Sitting in new box, this is the exact spot you want. It provides multiple kill potentials, but now the information's been given up. A swing out from Banana, and he shuts him down. Bluish looking for another, and he's gonna find it. Orchids 8.
Huge from Bluish. Gets the 4K on the low buy, so they managed to beat the aggressive push of the CTs by just being more aggressive and running up Banana faster than the CTs can run down mid. Definitely a big brain play from the IGL for the Orchids.
Great call. Something we've been seeing a lot. An IGL that outshines the level of gameplay found in this tier typically, which is, you know, just a great sign for the future Counter-Strike Federation. I mean, we see these players move up all the time, and a brain like this being found in a tier like Prospect, I mean, it's showing something. Now, let's not hope it's only on Inferno. I'd love to see more. I'll be keeping an eye out for Orchids later this season. No doubt about it. Steez is slowly crossing through middle, playing the advantage on possible timings through apps. They've given it up, which is always such a risky play, but we haven't really seen a lot out of anybody except Freedom. So you isolate this 1v1. Look at this. All the way down halls. This is actually crazy. You have no support to decide to lurk through. And then, hey, you know what? Never mind. I'm going to go back towards Boiler. Look at that. Now you know where 2 players are just because of that. And a re-smoke is such an interesting situation. A flash comes out and the smoke follows. Deez takes him down, playing the anti-flash, and that is just great playing. That is solid game sense, understanding exactly where you need to be. Steez plays a great part of this CT side of defense, but with 1 round to go in this half, you have to hope that something bad doesn't happen on this B side. The smoke comes out, a pop flash, which perfectly gets executed by Jazzer, not even by the one throwing the flash. It's such an interesting outcome. Molly's going to shut him down now, and now this is a retake situation. Lerp gets a little bit of damage. And with the default plant in mind, Bluish is once again on the B site with the idea of holding a defense on his mind. 2 players towards Banana is interesting, and it actually might work out perfectly. You have 3 coming from CT, bomb planted exactly for them. Look at this Molly. Just waiting for that Molly. Look at that. This is solid gameplay. I'm not gonna lie. I'm actually liking what I'm seeing from these Orchids. They seem to be refined. Waiting for so long. That's what happens when you don't save utility. And now with only Sunny to bring it together, it's gonna be 9-3 Orchids.
Yeah, Orchids looking super strong on that T side. I mean, they lost a couple of rounds to that super aggression down mid from the CTs, but honestly, it felt like when they were given the time to try and work their own game, they absolutely took control and made it their own. So super impressive to see, getting to watch them craft their own rounds, execute that, and yeah, just great from the Orchids. Let's see if they can keep it up on the CT side.
And a CT side disparity would be certainly an interesting outcome. It's not something I would expect, especially from such a solid team on the T side. Usually it carries over, but we'll see. Things can fall apart. Individuals can shine through. An AK in the right hands can make a huge difference. I know for myself, my CT rating is a lot higher or a lot lower than my T rating, just because I just can't aim an M4 personally, Bango. I don't know what it is. I just don't have it in me.
Yeah, well, somebody to look at is Bluish at 140 ADR. We'll see if he can aim an M4 and keep that up in the second half. Definitely finding his impact late in the half with that 4K and then a 3K in the last round. So looking good for Bluish. It comes down to
where they're going to put him, to be fair.
Absolutely.
Or maybe Bluish is the IGL where he's going to put himself. Now we are finding a 2-3 split on pistol round. It is somewhat common. A lot of times you'll see 3 down B just to stop a rush and then a quick rotate without one. But look at this. They're going to be not taking banana control. They're going to give it up, but it doesn't matter. We're over here on A, going for a possible abs pop. This might be a contact abs, which is such a strong play right now, especially since most people like to default towards porch. Look at this, a jiggle. This is actually a great play right now, and it'll get a lot of information. They'll only see 1, and that's fine, but all of this movement is in huge oversight. RPT takes down 1. Sees crosshair placement, struggling a little bit, but he's looking to clear sight. Takes damage from pit, and now RPT's not getting... What is going on? Bluish finds 1. RPT goes for a repeat, finds the kill, and this is looking good for the Orchids. Now Sunny finds 1. Can he bring it back? Yes! Another shot. It's been said. It's been made clear. Sunny is not here to play games. He's here to win them. Steez looking towards library. Everything is on the line. This pistol round could mean the comeback of a century. He needs to look down. His head minorly goes over. Now Steez getting swung on by Alexander. It comes down to Steez. Takes down 1. Can he get another? No.
Huge attempt from Sunny there, trying to claw the round back, but good retake from the CTs. Bluish getting one and living in Moto instead of overcommitting to the fight was really nice for getting the kit coming into the retake so they didn't feel rushed, and for just having more men up. Nice to see some good, thoughtful play coming out from the CTs, keeping up their general advantage play-wise over the Ts from the first half.
And this is now, I mean, when do you just give up, Bang? I mean, you never give up, right? But when do you just give up? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, if they don't manage to win this round on the T side, they might have to give up. They'll be down 11-3 and have no money.
They will have no money on an 11-3 scoreline, but hey, it might be the greatest comeback in Counter-Strike Confederation history. A history that I have not been fully a part of, so maybe not. But, however, here we have an interesting play here. Melky with a P90, but not a lot of aggressive gameplay. Holding the smoke close. Oh, look at that. What an interesting spot to line up to and then start firing. I mean, I commend it. I don't really understand it, but it almost worked out. It seemed like he was lined up perfectly. So Melky has now walked through and just sprayed violently. This is not looking too bad for Lerp and Jazzer, but they are executing on a site that is quickly getting rotated on. And this is now not a good situation. You have 2 smokes on either side. Both CT smokes, and you are trapped. You have 57 seconds, though. It's going to leave you around 30 seconds on that banana smoke. Oh, and they're going to re-smoke. This is a clear sign to either fake the rotate or stay. Bango, what would you do here? You have 2 players.
You gotta search together. You gotta try and isolate that 2v1 fight as the Ts to try and give yourself the best chance possible to get that kill cleanly and bring it down to a 2v2. By throwing this util, they're telling the Bluish where they are, and he's gonna easily mop up both kills with that P90, getting another 3K and pushing himself to 17-4, just absolutely destroying the Aimlock anchors right now.
Yeah, great game for the Aimlock Anchors. They are a team with 5 players, so this is actually going to be your 5 stack as far as I know, unless someone drops out. The Orchids, the Orchids are going to have 6 players, so Bluish is hoping this game, you know, probably trying to set his name in stone here on this roster. We see a lot out of these players. Something I want to mention is these Orchids, everyone seems to be performing. Freedom has had his moments. His entries were phenomenal throughout the early parts of this game, and I mean, without a doubt, I think this Orchid squad is looking towards a lot of success. Maybe the Aimlock has a little bit in them we haven't seen yet. Maybe Inferno's not their strongest map, but this has come to a close rather quickly unless the Aimlock Aimers can bring something together.
Looks like the B-pop's incoming.
B-pop indeed, and it's actually... It's pretty much unlosable for this T side here. Not gonna lie, the way they have it set up, they have the right smokes, and Alexander's just able to walk in the middle of sight.
That was crazy.
Oh, I love it. I live for this shit, man. And it's actually still possible. I mean, without a doubt, this is now a 3v3 situation. You have 3 flashes to work with. If you're not using them correctly, that is on you. Look at this. Freedom coming in from the back, from the top row, takes down 2, starts to defuse. No fear, because we are looking at a 12-3 game.
Yeah, great retake coming in from the Orchids. Bluish, again, 2 more kills on the round, just keeps climbing higher and higher. Something to keep in mind in the last round, if you've managed to see it, is Bluish also has quite the interesting view model when he's got his gun out. And personally, if I'm the GM of Greenhouse, I might consider cutting him just for that. I think good view model is important for keeping your team mental together.
Can I see it? Are we on it right now? I mean, his knife looks really far right. I haven't seen the gun.
This is Bluish right now.
See.
When he pulls his gun out, you'll see a little bit.
All right, is it body cam style where it's like raised up? Let me see this. Or is it straight? Is it Doom? Oh, it's Doom. Okay. All right. I mean, honestly, I hate to say it, Bango, not that bad. Really not that bad. There's so much. It could be so much worse, Bango. But you're not wrong. It is definitely aggressive. It seems to be making a difference, though, Bango. You might just not know the meta yet. He might be on something. He's 19-4 here on Inferno at round 15. So if you want to die only 4 times on a 15-round game, I mean, clearly the idea is right in front of you. Look at that, a free AK out from Banana. A lot of damage found on Lerp and Steez. And Melky, very, very stagnant opper. While there aren't things wrong with that in moderation, it can be easily taken advantage of, and just like that, a leg shot is found. Low health across the board. Offensive util on Bluish. Could be seeing more. It's going to be taken down. Now Sunny is starting to feel himself maybe a little bit. A lot of shots. Arguably pointless. However, gotta be too safe. Look at that hop up. That's a great play for Pitt. Completely takes advantage of Bluish. A star player on this Orchids roster. And without being able to utilize that star player, you're found in a dangerous spot. Any form of momentum.
RPT was blocked by Bluish's smoke that he threw out, so Bluish definitely making this a little harder.
So what is he watching there? Is my only question. What is Sunny watching? But Steez, it doesn't matter. Steez takes it down. The question is completely pointless. And now, I mean, we have a 12-4 situation. They got a lot of work to do, though.
Yeah, it looked like Sunny was holding his moto, kind of unaware that his apps flank was open. Maybe trusting that they would definitely be coming moto with that lane smoke down, but generally you just got to be more aware that they will generally try and come through apps if the opportunity presents itself, because it is something that allows you to isolate those duels onto the site so much easier. But Steez also isolating the fights with the op in the pit with that corner of the wall is able to take down 3 and close it up pretty easily.
You know what I hate to see, Bango? I hate to see that the Orchids at 12-4 have less timeouts than the Aimlock anchors right now. It really does hurt to see. Because it goes to show a mentality behind these games that you lose one round at 12, right? Take a timeout. Guys, listen. One round. Lock in. Set them up. Knock them down. Okay? And from the Aimlock anchors, it feels like they've given up just by not utilizing these timeouts at incremental points in this game. But look at this push from mid. In a great spot to shut him down. But RPT makes it all the way down. A missed off shot and 2 kills with a 5-7. Absolutely turn this game into a 1v2 situation. This is a great move, and an op is not what you want for a 1v2. You're going to instantly switch back. The Galil is what you want, and you're walking into Bluish, who has been nothing but an absolute demon. And ladies and gentlemen, a 13-4 scoreline and a solid victory, a sweep from the Orchids onto the Aimlock anchors.
Yeah, great composure from Orchids. They call that timeout. They come in with another great plan, just taking mid fast, and it allows them to, again, close that distance on the weaker weapons against the op and manage to reduce it to just getting that 1 kill and then immediately traded. So really great from the Orchids. That timeout was really useful and absolutely destroy the Aimlock anchors 13-4.
13-4. What a game. What a game indeed. That went a lot faster than I was expecting, Bango. I am not too familiar with these teams. I am familiar with Hacker Haven. I've seen the level of play they have in the higher tiers as well as the lower, and this is actually kind of surprising. Hacker Haven, Aimlock Anchors kind of fell a little flat there. It makes you wonder what kind of situation they're heading into. A little bit of lapse in judgment. It didn't really seem like they're communicating too much. Just to diagnose some of the issues, possibly. A lot of times we see players holding things, and there wasn't a lot of rotations, and when there was, it was over rotations, and then they would, I mean, let's talk about, I think it was round 8, I want to say, where it was a 2v3 situation. You had them coming up banana, and instead of holding the site, I mean, it's a split site hold. It's 1v whoever, depending on the site, and they chose B, and the player ended up running back into CT. I mean, you're practically giving it up, but then you're not fully rotating to the A site, and it just seems like a lack of communication, maybe poor calling. I'm not really sure where to go from that, but I mean, a lot to work on for the Aimlock anchors here after that round, after that match.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think they have the 5 that they're planning to stick with unless they do some cuts and resigns. So gonna have to look at getting some more ideas coming into your CT side. They tried to copy and paste that mid aggression every round, and most teams are gonna figure out how to counter that pretty quickly. So I definitely would like to see them come in with more ideas and, like you said, up that communication, get together, push together, try and get trade frags, and hopefully they can see a little bit of improvement going into the regular season.
Could not agree more. Ladies and gentlemen, we have another game headed your way in just a little bit. Let me get the time for you. But as far as I know, we have more action coming your way in about 15 minutes. We're going to go to Be Right Back. I've been MaldingMike. Bango has been Bango. And we will be back. See you then.